Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful to gather together on this chilly day, shall we say, at this point. A couple of people mentioned the disparity of last Shabbat's weather to this Shabbat's weather to me, actually. But hopefully we warm it up together inside. Our cantorial intern Leslie Goldberg and I are thrilled to be leading us in worship. Those of you who were here last week, if you thought you were coming to see those wonderful high school song leaders again, they've all gone back where they're from. Chicago, New York, California. A few of them are homegrown. You'll hear the locals again. But we turn in our prayer books, page 11. If you're in the front row, you're going to have to reach behind you, and then your family's going to have to reach behind them. Smaller of the two books, page 11, we begin with Dodi Lee.
I'd like to invite up Delphine and Glenn Coker, the parents of our bat mitzvah, along with her siblings, Eloise and Ellie, to lead us in a reading and help us light the Shabbat candles.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all of us who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindled light.
Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite up our bat mitzvah, Noah Coker, to the reading desk where I am, along with her parents and siblings. You can stay up here. For a reading on page 4, followed by the Kiddush on page 5. Thank you. We have here a Kiddush cup just for you that is donated by the BHC Brotherhood and the women of BHC. We hope that you will use this moving forward in your life as a young Jewish adult, seen in the eyes of our community as an adult, and that this will remind you of your time here at BHC when you use it. And let's get your parents up here first.
And there was evening, and there was morning, the 6th day. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing.
And God ceased on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Please rise.
That's for you.
Thank you.
Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava ratzon hilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh zecher lisiat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. You can drink them, right? And we'll take those back and get those washed and give it back to you tomorrow.
Please be
That's your
seated.
bat mitzvah.
We turn to page 20.
Okay, all set. Oh, one more. Thank you. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, Mikrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mikol Bela. Lecha Dodi, Mikrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mikol Bela. Verse 1. Shabbat
turn to page 8, I think I can promise it's the only time we're moving backwards this today. Before we read that prayer together, just a verse from a poem by Marge Piercy. This is the time for letting go. Like a released balloon dwindling, tilt your neck and let your face open to the sky, like a pond catching light, drinking the darkness. And on this Shabbat we read, I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Page 28, please rise for the Baruch Hu. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sharim, u'vitvuna meshane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'misader et hakochavim, v'mishmerotehem b'rakia kiritzono, barei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shmo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 32, together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 34, Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות על דניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו העשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 39, together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Michamocha. Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter, the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
Page 44, V'shamru.
turn to page 46. Words first from the beginning of Psalm 51. Create a pure heart within me. Let my soul wake up in your light. And so on 46, we rise to the tefillah, yearning to feel our connection to the holy.
Adonai, simchatai tiftach, ufi agite ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol, Atah Rav le'hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh holim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Nichamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol.
Atah kadosh, Shivcha kadosh, Kadoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen.
Page 57. Please be seated. I despise the word sitting, but I never told them to. Together, ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land and Zion restored in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, shodcha levadcha bi'irah na'avod. Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lahodot.
Amen.
Page 60, a prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom We'd now take a moment for silent prayer.
Mishaberach Avotenu v'imotenu. May the one who blessed our ancestors, ancient and recent, bless those in our lives, our families, our community in need of refuah shlema, in need of healing. We think especially on this Shabbat of Patricia Abend, Nathaniel Agin, Shelley Bloss Bernstein, David Berenhouse, Bella Berman, Cindy Blake, Etta Mindel Batchana, David Chapin, Shelley Koch, Michelle Connor, Natalie Conrad, Yolanda Hahn, George Dover, Sherry Einhorn, David Elkis, Bob Fitchett, Elaine Gammerman, Lynn Garrison, Roseanne Gerstel, Claire Goldstein, Jonathan Gross, Mitchell Henderson, Corey Herman, Stanford Hess, Bonnie Jacobson, Shannon Jetter, Rose Juskowitz, Joan Cohn, Arnold Katz, Rachel Letterman, Piper Levine, Barbara Kinberg, Lenny Kinlan, Terry Coleman, Arnold Lerner, Stan Levin, Leah Kyla Batsima Vidovid, Shayna Max, Carmen Moore, Bob Sachs, Susan Samuels, Sarah Rachel Botfredel, Phyllis Siegel, Ruth Subert, Phyllis Siskin, Elizabeth Smith, Amy Sponseller, Peter Street, Ruth Vernette, Catherine Vecchio, Trudy Yohe, Tia Young, Leslie Waldman, Arlene Weiner, Marshall Wendell, and Autumn White. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Praised are you, O source of healing. Amen.
Oh, may the words of my mouth
The passage of time into fall leaves people feeling the increased darkness around us. Add to that the shift to standard time last week, and what light there has really shifted around us. We may feel the impact ourselves, and I assume you, like I, have heard others mention the toll the darkness, the encroaching cold takes upon them this time of year. I've heard it from B'nai Mitzvah students, not today's Bat Mitzvah student, but B'nai Mitzvah students, confirmation students, full adults. I'll admit I feel it myself some. And while autumn is my favorite season for the really strange reason that when you see a family walking or a group of friends walking, you'll see everything from shorts and a t-shirt to a heavy winter jacket and every mix. We don't know how to dress. That said, the cold, the dark is around us. As Katya Molodowsky, the Russian-born Yiddish-American poet, wrote about the emotional impact of this season, "Don't let me fall as stone upon the hard ground, and don't let my hands become dry as the twigs of a tree. When the wind beats down the last leaves, and the storm raises dust from the earth with anger and howling, don't let me fall." There's more to the poem, but we can hear the very exhaustion of the tree, of the earth itself, of the people witnessing the tree and its leaves in this poem. And we can feel this fatigue actually in this week's Torah portion. Maybe after everything that happened last week in Parshat Vayera, we should all be a little tired. And Chayei Sarah seems to arrive with that exhaustion. What might Sarah have felt at the end of her life? What might Abraham have felt as he prepared to bury his wife? Abraham's servant must expend immense energy in search of a wife for Isaac. So like any worker at the end of the day, he's probably exhausted. And Isaac is probably facing his own emotional fatigue, wondering what kind of wife will be brought back to him long before he could know he was going to fall in love. Our tradition knows that life can be tiring. We see it in the poem, in the portion. We're aware that each day is not necessarily a simcha or simchat Torah. Our journeys through life come with moments of darkness, of worry, of exhaustion. And I know they can happen in the blazing sun of August, but there's something about this moment of turning in the year. We see it not only in the Torah, we see it in the world around us. I could give such a sampling in any year, but a simple sampling of the exhaustion we see quite publicly before us can be seen in basketball star Brittany Griner's exhaustion as she is sent to a penal colony in Russia. And what must her family and friends be experiencing at this moment? Or Volodymyr Zelensky and his whole country. I wonder how worn out those soldiers must be, but maybe more exhausted must be those utility workers and others pulled into service, trying to keep a country with some semblance of water, of electricity at some point, at some time. And in exhausting battles that never seem to end, that the tension with Iran projects towards Israel as each time it seems to find new routes and opportunities to prod and attack. An Israeli-owned cargo ship was attacked this week, apparently by an Iranian Revolutionary Guard drone. Now, in our humble lives, we may think that these examples and consider our concerns too small. Who are we to worry or profess fatigue while others are attacked or captive or worried about where their next meal may come from? However, Judaism teaches us that our lives matter too. And as certainly as we should be concerned about world events and about the events that impact all Americans or all Jews, there is space enough for our own exhaustion, space enough in our tradition for us to find comfort or challenge in the face of our fatigue. The economic strains of the moment are spread unevenly, but clearly impact many. So even if the concern is not about immediate nourishment or shelter, It doesn't mean you might not be concerned about the education of your children or grandchildren, or about caring for the older people in your life. Until 2 years ago, many of us were able to evade personal health concerns, even as others were consumed by dealing with chronic or acute diagnoses. COVID has beautifully, if you will, spread personal health concern across us all. And yet those with those so-called pre-existing challenges, pre-existing conditions, have an extra layer of worry it doesn't take the worry of the rest of us around. Now, don't get me wrong, not all sources of levels of exhaustion are equal. While I feel for those who did not get their Taylor Swift tickets before the system crashed, that exhaustion is not life-threatening. I may hear from some people about that who may disagree with me. Our tradition, though, provides scaffolding, not just about coming of age, not just week by week of Shabbat. Our tradition provides scaffolding to deal with these challenges and concerns, with the fatigue, large and small, in our life. Judaism acknowledges, if in not so many words, that we will sometimes be exhausted, that the marking of times, not just each Shabbat, but the liturgical and calendar awareness allows for the changing of seasons and the changing of moods as well. Seeing our lives mirrored in the prayer book or the Torah allows for context towards what fatigues us in our own lives, and the support of community and the engagement in Jewish life offers comfort at its best from the often isolated individuality found in our society. American life can offer such life rhythm affirming moments as well. I know it is Thanksgiving this week. And while some of you may come up later and tell me that your family Thanksgiving is downright exhausting in its own right, I hope even as you deal with that difficult cousin or work in the kitchen, you're doing it out of the love that does affirm life and find a respite for a moment. And that may be what our tradition is suggesting. We call Shabbat a day of rest, but it isn't just about rest as we gather to pray, and it isn't just rest about a nap. Maybe what we're searching for on this day of the week, maybe what we're searching for in part in our Judaism is respite from the concerns and from the exhaustion, from the weights we carry, and to come together and know that we're not alone, even if our specific challenges may be individual. And so at this time of year, even with the shrinking of the light, may we be invigorated by the beauty of the leaves and the strength of even a stripped bare tree. Even as we may be drawn together in our exhaustion, may we remember that this moment of fatigue is not forever. There will be simcha, there will be joy, there will be different days whose leaves will come in different colors. And we all have the chance to feel life's energy and excitement, even when it can be hard to see on a given day. We can share in Tussman's hope that we shall not fall, even as we feel the impact of this season of fall. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Please turn to page 282 as we rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'ateit tidula l'etzeh bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gon aleinu kechol ha'monam, va'anachnu kolim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei malach malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu b'ne'emar b'haya Adonai lemelech al kol
Page 293. First, a prayer not found in your book. We say shalom and not goodbye, for shalom is goodbye and hello and wholeness and peace all threaded together in one breath. And in one breath, we too say goodbye to a hand to hold, a kiss and a tight embrace. And in the same breath of shalom, we say hello to an ocean of memories, a rush of emotion, gratitude and sorrow, tears and laughter and trembling and fatigue, all in one breath. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. On this Shabbat, we especially mourn those whose deaths and funerals have occurred during Shloshim, just during the last month. Keith Allen Rubin, Leonard Kaplan, Morton Blankman, Barbara Cohen, Pauline Chapin, Ida Yakar, Bert Mitchell-Kahn, Betty Blum, Amelie Bank, Richard Ottenheimer, Loretta Hirschfeld, Barbara Himmelrich, Sylvia Katzel, Marvin Kaufman, Arnold J. Sell, Andrew Goldberg, Max Geller, Zachary Jacobs, Rosalind Stavisky, and Evelyn Schwartzman. And we mark the following yurtzites, anniversaries of a death which have been requested to be read. Lottie Adelberg, Julius Baer, Phyllis Berenhouse, Louis Berkowitz, Byron Berman, Gertrude Berman, Dorothy Burney, Irving Fisher, Miriam Friedman, Louis Goldman, Helene Goldstein, Harry Gordon, Herman Gresser, Benjamin Harris, Arnold Jacobs, Cecilia Keels, Henry Kessler, Carolyn Kramer, Terry Langbaum, Elaine Layden, Rosalie Lichter, S. Sidney Myers, Charles Narrow, Violet Patz, Tilly Peck, Esther Rogers, Joseph Rosenthal, Rabbi Alexander Schindler, Sandra Sunny Scher, Edith Silverman, George Singer, Hyman Snyder, Stanley Spiegelman, Joseph Trust, Bessie Umansky, Sophie Weikers, Paul Max Wolf, and Daniel Zlotowitz. As we remember them and all we've loved and lost, turning to page 294, I'd like to invite those who are in mourning or marking a yurtzeit to please rise first. And if it is your custom, I invite you to rise together with them in sacred community. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra kirutei v'yalmik malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, Bagalav izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha brichu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May there be peace and life for us, for all Israel, and for all humanity, and may the source of peace grant peace and comfort to those who mourn. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite up Harry Max to share a few announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Torah Talk meets in Zoom at 9 a.m. every Saturday morning. Tomorrow, our Shabbat morning service is at 10:30 a.m. in the sanctuary as we celebrate with Delphine and Glenn Coker when their daughter Noah becomes a bat mitzvah. Mazel tov to the whole family. Our Sunday morning adult Hebrew classes taught by Cantor Sachs have begun. Adult Beginner Hebrew and Understanding Prayer Book Hebrew. There is still more room, so please contact Cantor Sachs. Our next drop-off at BHC of frozen casseroles for our daily bread is Monday, November 28th, from 11 to 11:30 a.m. Thank you to our ushers, Lauren, and myself. And following service, please join us in the lobby for an Oneg Shabbat. Again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Harry. So you may know that somehow your name was a little extended for a while, so it's before we correct it in terms of it, but yet another gift for the congregation. There, Mazel Tov. Noah, we are thrilled that you and your family have joined the congregation and are celebrating your bat mitzvah with us. So excited to have you. We have a special closing song, I think, yes?
So this weekend, we are going to announce the coming of the new Jewish month, the month of Kislev, which has Hanukkah in it. But right now, we're in the month of Cheshvan, which usually we think of as having no holidays in. But it's not entirely true, because the Beta Israel community, the Ethiopian Jewish community, does have a holiday during this month, 50 days following Yom Kippur. It's called Sigd, and it happens to come this Tuesday. And so we're going to have a closing song that is from this Ethiopian community, this Beta Israel community, called Shalom Lach Ir, which means peace to you, city. And it's talking about Jerusalem, that this community that was in Ethiopia since they trace themselves back to Queen of Sheba and the time of King Solomon, but some others trace it back to one of the lost tribes of Israel. So a very ancient community here, there in Ethiopia. And they come up to the top of this mountain, and it's a fast day during the morning, and they sing and they read from their Torah, and they face Jerusalem with this yearning to go to Jerusalem. Now, some of you may have lived through this, some of you may not know, but most of that community now lives in Israel. Because of a number of wars, they were airlifted by the Israeli Defense Force to Israel, and so now they celebrate this holiday, facing Jerusalem on the Tayelet, and then walk down to the Kotel. They walk down to the Western Wall to celebrate this holiday. This past year, I had my year in Israel as part of my studies, and so I got to go to this celebration on the Tayelet and listen to them read from their Torah in Ge'ez, which is the liturgical language that's used by all of the religions in Ethiopia, not just Judaism. And usually they speak in a language called Amharic, which is has some relation to Yiddish, where it's very similar to Hebrew, but is also similar to the language spoken on the street. And so you'll hear in this song, there's some that's in Hebrew and some that's in Amharic. So we say Shalom Lach Ir, but also Selam Leki. Very similar, right? So the response on this song is Shalom Lach Ir. Can you give me my key? Shalom Lach Ir. Let's try it. Shalom Lach Ir. And it kind of comes in after the end of a line. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Shalom Lach Ir. There it is. We'll try it in tempo now. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Shalom Lach Ir. There we go. Feel this walking pace, right? So if you feel like you want to sway or step or clap, feel free to join in. Kemo gadol panayich ir Tzion hakdosha Shalom lach ir Betoch otahor panayich ir Tzion hakdosha Shalom lach ir Panayich ir Tzion hakdosha Shalom lach ir Kemo gadol Panayich ir Tzion hakdosha Shalom lach ir. This part's a little bit different. Selam selam leki Selam selam leki Salema, 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 Salema. Kemo gadol panayich ir Zion hakdosha. Shalom lach ir. Oh, good, you remembered. Betoch o gadol panayich ir Zion hakdosha. Shalom lach ir. Kemo tahor panayich ir Zion hakdosha. Shalom lach ir. Betoch o tahor panayich ir Zion hakdosha. Shalom lach ir. Back to that selam, but this time on shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom lach. In Hebrew, shalom, shalom, shalom lach. Shalom, shalom, shalom lach. Eretz avotenu. Shalom, shalom, shalom lach. Shalom, shalom, shalom lach. Shalom, shalom, shalom lach. Eretz avotenu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen.
Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God, who gathers our diverse reality in front of us and spreads and shares before us melodies drawn from across our people. May this be a day of respite. May this be a day of learning. And may the week ahead be meaningful. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.